Heyo duckies, Andi here, back with another Meme Monday. I missed last week because I was a little bit busy catching up with stuff. I've been quite busy, and you know how it is, okay guys? But today we're going to be looking at taking a photo, an old school Polaroid picture. Let's have a little look what it looks like. Takes a cheeky little screenshot, as you can see just there, and it displays whatever channel point redeem message you have that's been requested in there as well, and then animates off screen. I'm going to be showing you how to do and create this rather than just giving you the whole installer, just so you can make it look however you want. I'm just going to show you all the behind the scenes, what happens in LioranBoard and Touch Portal, and I'm going to show you all and give all the assets to you as well. Okay guys, so without further ado, press like on the video, also subscribe, put your rocket with a stone. Let's go. So I've got all the assets and everything, like the little picture outline and the video clip as well, which I've created. You can download that in the description below. It's just on my Discord. But we're just going to jump into OBS. So this is a blank OBS that I'm using here. You need a couple of things to get ready for the setup of this, using some nested scenes. So the first scene that we're going to create, I'm just going to rename this to webcam scene, because I just want a webcam on that scene. So I'm going to add a source and add a webcam. So a video capture device, I'm going to call this webcam. And press OK on that, and as you can see, I've got my C920 set up for this. I'm just going to set a resolution of 1920 by 1080. Press OK. So I've got a standard scene, just my webcam. I'm going to lock that in place. That's it. That is done. Second part is create another scene, and we're going to call this one freeze frame webcam. So it's up to you what you do call these, but now we're gonna basically put our webcam scene, so the scene that you can see right here, we're gonna actually put that inside the source of the freeze frame webcam. So press plus, go to add scene just there, and then we can see just up here you've got the webcam scene. We're gonna add that in, and it'll basically look like the same scene, but one's got the actual source on it and one's got this as the source on it. If you don't really know what's going on with these sort of things and nested scenes, I have got a video. You can check that out just up there. It will teach you everything, what it means and all that jazz. And now we can actually start creating what we want. So I'm going to press the add sign again, and I'm actually just going to create a just chatting screen for now, just so you can see the full effect. So just chatting. And then I'm going to add my normal camera on there. So if I add my webcam scene, that is it, and then I can have whatever just chatting elements I want on there, if that makes sense. So this could be my browser source, everything, my chat on there, whatever needs to be on there. So we're going to create one more scene. So there's 4 scenes that we're going to use. Hopefully you will already have 2 of them, so that'll be nice and easy for you. We're going to add the actual Polaroid freeze frame thing. So I'm going to call this, I like to organize my scenes like I've spoken in the past, so I call this a secondary input. So I usually do SI at the beginning, and then put Polaroid, and then could do freeze frame, or however you guys want to organize your, whatever works for you. This is why I'm not doing an installer this time, because it's completely up to you how you name stuff. It's just up to you, okay? So I'm going to put Polaroid freeze frame just there. And I'm going to start with nothing on there. We need to add in the assets. So the assets will be in my LioranBoard folder, but wherever you downloaded them from, the Meme Monday Polaroid freeze frame, we're just going to copy the countdown photo and the Polaroid directly into sources. If that doesn't just click and drag across, that means you need to run in administrator mode, or you can just press the plus sign, go all the way up to picture, so image source, and use that, and also a media source to import the video. And you can call them whatever you like, whatever works for your organization. And that's pretty much there is to it. The next thing we're going to do is add another source, add a text source, and we're going to call this Polaroid, and then I'll put text message for now. And the font that I've been liking to use is the ink-free one, and to be honest, a decent size is about 72, so press OK on that, and we can do a test message in here. So test message to see how big this is. So as you can see, I've started typing it all the way up there. We need to set some constraints on this. So first of all, we would need to change the color to black. So we're going to change the color over to black. Just there. As you can see, we'll be able to see it now on there. The alignment, change center, vertical alignment, change that to center. We want to also add some custom text extents, okay? So you might have to experiment with this, but I think I found it was 700, no, that's not right. 650 width. Yeah, about 650 width, depending on your screen resolution, what your canvas size is, okay? And then by 150. And then kind of just center that as best you can, and that's it. That's everything that you need to do there. Next thing we need to add, let me just move it down, because I want to make sure you leave the WebM format file on top. That's the video file. That's always got to be on top, okay? So the next thing we need to add is the actual freeze frame camera. So I'm going to jump into this freeze frame camera just here, and we're going to add a filter onto it. So right click, add the filter, plus, and then we're going to add the freeze filter. If you've not got the freeze filter, you can download it. The link is in the description. I have got plenty of videos. You can check it out up there, how to get the freeze filter installed and working. So I'm just going to call this Polaroid Freeze. For now, that's okay. And as you can see, it's frozen the camera straight away. So I can just turn that off for now. Go back to the other scene, the Polaroid freeze frame scene, and we're going to add the freeze frame webcam as a scene source inside of here. So we're going to add the freeze frame webcam in there, and as you can see, it's gone full screen. We're going to drag it all the way down to the bottom so it's right behind, and then we can kind of line up where we want it. So I'm going to kind of, this is completely up to you. I'm just moving it around, and then I can hold down the Alt button to start cropping the sides of it just so they fit behind that. So now it just looks like a photo, as you can see just there. And that is pretty much all there is to it. The last thing that we need to do to get this all connected is select these bottom three sources, so the text source, the image source, and that scene source. Right click them and press group items together. I'm going to call this Polaroid freeze frame group. I can't type today at all. There we go. And now we've got a full group. So this means that we can click this group and move this whole photo around together, which is awesome. That just makes it a whole bunch easier. So we can add some other cool effects to this now. So it's kind of like the little special effects as you saw my image kind of, it moved in. We're going to add the motion, and then we're also going to add the kind of fade in as well as that. So to add the motion, we right click on the scene and go to filters. And once in filters, we're going to press plus, and then we're going to use the move source filter. If you've not got the move source filter, then you will need to check out my move transition video. I've done loads of videos on it. If you've not got move source, you need to get it. Okay, it's the best plugin there is. So I'm going to call this one picture off, or it's completely up to you what you label them. And I'm going to move this into the off position. I want it to be a little bit smaller. I reckon that's about as big as I'm going to put it on the screen, I think. So I'm going to move it off screen all the way up here. If you can't see off screen, you can hold down the space bar and you'll see this hand, and you can drag the canvas around. That way you can move around the canvas easier. So now we've moved that off screen, and we're kind of happy with where that group is. We're going to select Polaroid freeze frame group just there, and we're going to change this to 10 milliseconds because we want it to happen instantly. We don't have to worry about easing or anything like that, and we're just going to press get transform. That is going to get that exact position that we've got just there, and everything else should be fine. Start triggers enable and disable. As soon as all that's done, that's fine. What we can do now is press plus and create another move source. We're going to create picture on. This is completely up to you how and where you want it to animate, but this is kind of the gist of it. 3000 milliseconds is pretty good. Make sure the freeze frame group is the source that's selected. And we're going to change the easing function, again completely up to you, and we're going to put this in the position we want it. So I like mine to spin in. So I put it down in this bottom left-hand corner. One thing I do want you to think about is right-click in, pressing transform and edit transform. This means you'll be able to change the positional alignment to center. So this means if I do any spins or anything like that, it will spin around the center and not via one of the corners, okay? But that might throw your picture off a little bit. So you might have to reposition that like you've seen me just do there and press get transform again. So we're going to put the picture on in this bottom right hand corner wherever you want it, and I'm going to get the transform so it's just here, and I'm also going to add some rotation. So I'm going to add 700 degrees. So if I press picture on, you'll see we're spinning around the center there. And 700 kind of gives you that nice little corner. So I'm going to position it in a corner like that, just to make it stand out a little bit more. Press get transform once again. Make sure start trigger is enable and disable, and that is all sorted. So I'm going to create I'm actually going to rename this picture off, because I want this to be the reset position. So I'm going to call it picture reset. And I'm also going to create another move source filter called picture off, and this will animate it off screen. So wherever we want it to go when it turns off. So I'm going to say this, I want it to take 2 seconds this time, so 2000 milliseconds. Ease in quadratic, completely up to you again, and move it where we want it to go. So I'm moving it off screen to the bottom like that. Press get transform. Change the start trigger to enable and disable, and then now if I reset, animate the picture on, it'll come flying in like that, and then we can get the picture to animate off. So that's exactly how we get all that to work in one go. So I'm just going to put it back on for now, and we're going to add the fade in, fade out type thing. So if we go to the freeze frame webcam scene, right click that, change the filter, press the plus, and we're going to add a color correction. So the color correction we're going to do is, we'll call this, you can call it whatever you want, that scene, and we can play around with this how we want it to fade in. So I was doing a mixture of the gamma fading in and the brightness fading in, so it was kind of like they were both coming in together at the same time, just to kind of, I don't know, you could do whatever you want with these. And the way that I did that is, now that I've got the color correction, I can press the plus and go to move value this time. This is part of the move transition plugin. Again, if you've not got it, get it installed. And I'm going to call this Polaroid fade in. And then on this one, I'm going to change it to the color correction. So that's the filter we're going to be using. And I can untick this single setting box. If you've not got that there, it means you've not updated. So update your your move transition plugin. And we can mess around with all the values now, where we want things to fade in and fade out. So I want it to fade in everything to 0. If you get this glitch, you can just reposition the thing like that, the window, and it will free it back up. So I'm going to change this to 0, and that is basically going to be on. Scroll all the way down, set how long you want it to be. So I have mine on for 3 seconds as well, so 3000 milliseconds. We can do ease in, ease out, whatever we want. Start trigger, do enable and disable. So now when I turn this on, you should see the picture fades in like that. Okay, but then we need a way to reset it. So I'm going to create another move value filter. I'm going to call this Polaroid fade out. So I'm not going to have it fade out though. I'm going to change this color correction filter, change the settings to multiple settings. We're going to turn the gamma right down. We're going to turn the brightness right down. Okay, so that'll turn them both off. The duration, I want it to be instant, so I'm going to change it to 10 milliseconds. So we don't need to worry about easing. The start trigger again is enable and disable. So now when I turn this filter on, it automatically turns off. Turn the fade in on, it fades in like so. Turn it off, I can turn it off, fade it in like so. So that's how I got them both to work. What that looks like on your actual picture, if you have a look now, if I press fade out, turns off, fade in, we got that natural fade in. And the reason why I'm not turning the source on and off is because you'll be able to see whatever's behind, okay? The last step of setting OBS up for this is going to your just chatting screen or whatever scene you want this to be on, and pressing the plus, add another scene source, and we're going to add the Polaroid freeze frame scene. So now we've got it like that. And just like so, and that's everything you need to do to get this set up. Now let's take a look at how we get it to activate via channel points using LioranBoard. So if you're not wanting to use this as a channel point redeem, don't worry about this section. But on your Twitch dashboard, go to create a dashboard and go down to community, then channel points, and then press manage rewards and challenges. Go scroll all the way down, you'll see add new custom reward. Press that, give it a name. We're going to call it take a photo. This, you can call it anything you want. You can put a description in there, say how much it's going to cost. Make sure you tick this box just here. This is going to require the viewer to enter text. That means they can put a message on that photo. Press create, and that is all done. Next, we're going to jump into LioranBoard. So I've created a new deck here. I will give you this config file as well to make it a little bit easier for you to understand. So in this new deck just here, you'll see Polaroid screenshot. I'm going to right click on that and press edit Twitch triggers. So this is set up as a channel point redeem, and as you can see, I've typed in the same thing, same capitalization and spaces and everything. Take a photo, leave this as a star because that's going to get all the information. So a star is a wild card in LioranBoard. It will basically read the whole message rather than a specific word or phrase. If you wanted to know how to add that, you just press the plus sign and go to point redeem with message or whatever other alternative you want to use. Press done, right click on it again and go to edit commands, and you'll see all the information just here. If you have labeled everything the same way as I have, this will work straight out of the tin. You don't have to make any changes, but say if you change the names of certain things like your scene name, you need to click on these and set them up to whatever the scenes are and everything like that. All the timings and the delays on the side should work perfectly. You can adjust them if you want to at all. That's completely up to you. I've left all these orange comments in there so you know what each section does. So this pulls the message information and writes it to the text source that we created. This activates the photo and so on. So please read through them and edit it as much as you want to. This is basically just a bit of spice for you so you can learn how to do these things. Press done again as always, and we're going to go to the channel point redeem down here, click on control points, take a photo, and we'll put this is a test message and press enter, and that'll do countdown just there. You can turn this down if you wanted to. As you can see, the sound's quite loud, so you can turn that down. And we've got a photo here. This is a test message, as you can see just there. And that's how to get it all working inside of LioranBoard. So as of right now, Touch Portal doesn't kind of pull any information from point redeem messages. So this time we're going to create a redeem message in the create dashboard, channel points, and once in there, the manage rewards just here. And we're going to create a channel point, and we're going to call it take a photo. Just like so. You can call it whatever you like. Give it a cost, 500, and this time we're going to leave that blank. Just press create, and once that's all done, we'll jump into Touch Portal. I've got the button here. You can import it if you like, and on event, I've got all the details just here. So if all your scenes and sources are all labeled exactly the same way as mine are, you will not need to edit any of this. But I've left all these comments in here so you can read what all these bits mean, and you can just click on them to change to whatever you've called each source and scene and filter, and that is it. So basically this command, when channel points are redeemed for ID take a photo, which is the channel point redeem message we made earlier, then it will run. I actually don't have any tablet or anything like that, and my Touch Portal's not connected to Twitch at the moment, so I won't be able to demonstrate it, but trust me, it should work perfectly fine. And that's pretty much everything there is to it. I know this one's been a long one, but I thought I'd do a big tutorial on all the different things inside of OBS, just so you can kind of see a use case scenario and learn a little bit more about how each function works, okay? I mean, any questions, let me know in the comments section below, all that jazz. Like the video, subscribe, all that, you know what to do. Put your rock up in the stone. See you next time. I just want to say a huge thanks to all my patrons that help make this content full-time, make it free for you guys, and also a huge thanks to all my YouTube members. You guys are legends. Thank you so much for everything that you do for me and the community. Keep it up, guys.